Why do some posts completely flop, and yet other times go mind-bogglingly viral? We've analysed over 135,000 viral posts on LinkedIn to work out that exact answer. I'm Hayden Bluefield, founder of Pink Panda. My team and I have become obsessed with one thing. That is, how do we get clients through LinkedIn? Analysing how to make content go viral, perform well, and then turn that virality, that engagement, into conversations, and those conversations into customers. And we're breaking down everything we learned, giving everything away. So in this video, we're gonna go into the content, what content performs well, what goes viral, and I'm gonna share examples of my content that's gone viral, but also where I've followed the exact format, done similar posts, and they've completely flopped. I'm talking a couple of likes and a couple of hundred impressions. Yet, the same sort of post, tens of thousands of impressions and over 1,000 comments. So let's dive in and find out why. Firstly, who am I to tell you what works, what doesn't? Just to go through a bit of behind the scenes of my stats on LinkedIn. Although impressions, as we said, are all about vanity, but if you can get your impressions up, get in front of the right audience, it can then lead you to start conversations with your ideal client. So first off, here's just my impressions over the last year, 500,000. Not that impressive overall compared to what a lot of people can achieve, but just the key thing for me is most of them all happened in the last few months. Since May, my LinkedIn has just popped off compared to what it was doing before. Like, this is getting next to no impressions. And this is when we really started researching into LinkedIn. And then this is when we started putting it all into practice and started seeing it become more predictable. So what I'm gonna share is going through a series of posts, but the big thing will be comparing what's gone well and what's flopped. Yeah, I'm doing the same type of post. Let's get into them. I'm gonna start with my first ever post that went viral. So this got over 300 likes, over 100 comments, and not many, like in terms of like virality with impressions, not that many impressions. And we've got our content guide that breaks down how you get more comments, more impressions per post. And I'll kind of touch on bits of it throughout this, but if you want that, comment guide below in the video comments and we'll send you the link. I suspected this would be my first post to get 100 likes, and I was both wrong and right. This was when I donated my hair. For context, my hair used to be this long. Crazy, I know. Took me 5 years to grow it. So, short, snappy post, but I'm gonna specify, and mainly it was this hook. 5 years of growing my hair, 20 inches is being donated. That in itself tells a story. Of all the ways I could have wrote this, this is where, from a lot of research, learning how to write a hook to engage an audience, this is where all of this activity came from, I can say with a lot of confidence. Numbers always do better. From what I've seen, from what I've read, from all the data we've scraped, so we've scraped at Pink Panda, we've scraped over 135,000 viral posts. Numbers in hooks do a lot better because they can help tell a story, and we as people like to read numbers. So bear that in mind. Plus, it's laid out in an easy to skim over flow, and there's not a lot to read there. So very quickly, like, this is a very much top of funnel content that isn't going to be getting people messaging you saying, oh my God, you guys do this, I want you to do it for me. This is just going to get you a new audience and a lot of people. So I've made it, deliberately designed it so that it's easy to skim over and easy to read very quickly. And it just tells a story of, I grew my hair for 5 years, I donated 20 inches of it, and this is where it's going to. And just kind of cracking a joke and showing my personality a bit, and then showing a few visuals. So this is like the first photo people see. It's very much a scroll stopper. So I'm gonna go through the elements. I've said about the hook, also the strong visual. When you're scrolling and you just see someone holding a length of hair, it's like, what on earth is going on here? Plus all of these photos to complement it. These tell a story as well, because it's a process. And they've got some weird, funny photos and funny faces. So it helps draw people in. And then as people started commenting, it got a lot of engagement, very positive, very supportive. But then what it got was a lot of 1 or 2 liner posts. Knowing what I know now, I can see where this didn't get so many impressions. So what it is, to get tons of impressions, what you need to be able to do is create a piece of content that people read the post, and then a chunk of them feel inspired to give their opinion and share their story in the comments. But what will really get you getting huge amounts of impressions, i.e. hundreds of thousands, comes down to posts that get a huge percentage of viewers to then just read through the comments and see what people are saying. You get this a lot, like teaser for people that are in HR, you can really blow up if you share particularly emotional stories of bad bosses, toxic employees, whatever it is. Because what you'll find is a lot of people will want to give their opinion in the comments and will share a very lengthy comment. So it means that the time on your content is very extensive. But in addition, loads of people that won't feel comfortable to engage in any way, they will get they will read the comments and they will sit there just scrolling through comments, reading them, and they'll all be long. So I've seen it with a HR consultant I've been speaking to about their content and whatnot. Like, they've got posts that have got less likes, less comments than this, but they will have hundreds of thousands of impressions, and it's all because people are sitting in the comments reading. And all the comments, although they'll only have tens of them, will be very thought-provoking and very detailed and be telling a story. So there's a little thing there, but this is my first post that performed well. Performed well, I had a few that hit 10,000 impressions, a couple, but they didn't get anywhere near this amount of engagement. So that's one example. What I'm going to go into next is more viral posts, and then I'm going to go into posts that flopped, despite the fact I was following what I consider the rules, the parameters of going viral. This post I've adjusted. This is one that's actually on my homepage. So this post starts here. This is me giving away a lead magnet. For context, if you don't know what a lead magnet is, it's generally a post where you state you've achieved something or you've done a lot of research into something and you now have a blueprint for it. If people want the blueprint, they can comment a certain word and you'll send it to them. So with this one, comparatively, we've got over 350 likes, but we've got almost 2,000 comments. And yeah, a lot of that is me responding to the comments. So cool, I haven't responded to all of them, but you're talking about 1,000 people here, plus 39 reposts, compared to this one that got over 100 comments, over 300 likes, but I was actually on 0 reposts. Oh wow, interesting. Whereas I wonder if I called people to repost, if I'd put a call to action that was like repost this to help spread the word, it probably would have got like 5 or 10. Whereas this one, I've actually called people to take action. Obviously with this one, there's kind of a subtle CTA of like, yeah, what hair dose do you recommend? Whereas this one, very clear CTA. It's saying comment certain word below, repost it to get first dibs. So this gave me, I think it was like 700 and something connection requests and gave me 750 followers in a day, but huge amounts of comments, and a lot more impressions, 57,000 and still growing. Lead magnets will always get huge amounts of comments, not as many. I'm surprised it's got this many likes, to be honest. This many reposts is just very effective way of using reposts to get more engagement on your lead magnets. But again, looking at this, so this is where it started. I watched 75 plus hours of LinkedIn experts to figure out one thing. Again, numbers, and it's telling a story. It's telling a story, but it's also showing a huge level of commitment to one thing. So I've done a real deep dive into something. And this is really cool if you're quite new to business, if you haven't got loads of case studies and results you can share, and it's like, I saved someone this much time, I made someone this much money, I've done this, whatever, for people. Something like this will help you get that traction if you can do a lot of research. And this could be like years of study, it could be hours of watching content, it could be how many words you've read or whatever, a document you put together. So for me, again, making it really easy to skim over so that you haven't got to sit here reading for ages, and give people a clear call to action so they know what to do, and then a GIF, strong visual that supports it. It's got recognizable faces that are big in the LinkedIn world and telling people what to do. So all in all, it's all calling people to that simple thing of comment. And when you look at, compared to the last post and how many comments this has got compared to impressions, what you'll find with lead magnets is you'll get tons of comments, but not a lot of impressions. Reason is, a lot of people that are familiar with lead magnets and they will skim over your post and just go, cool, yeah, it sounds good, right, I'm gonna comment a word, and then they carry on. Like, these people, chances are they're not hanging around on your post, they're just commenting a word and going straight past it. A lot of them may not even click the see more button. So something to bear in mind with lead magnet posts, and something I'm working on is like, how can I create a lead magnet post that gets people to stick around in the comments And it could be that you put multiple calls to action, but it's something we're studying and learning at the moment. Next, I'm gonna show you my most successful post. This one, I say most successful, this one got me almost 100, really annoyed. It didn't get 100,000 impressions, but there's still time. And if you wanna go on this, chuck a like, then there we go. It'll help me get there. But I'm gonna explain why this caught a lot of traction. I knew this one would do well. I didn't realize it was gonna get 100,000 impressions. I'm gonna start with a hook. Again, numbers seems to be quite a common theme here, always using numbers. And I was just flexing how broke I am. So this was a very heartfelt, emotional story, just being very honest. So for a bit of context, in my business or in my journey of building businesses, I've just always prioritized building a team and never given myself a salary. I'm trying to step away. So like in Pink Panda right now, I'm trying to step away from operations and even more in the business so that it runs without me. So I will go without any salary in order to prioritize having a team of people to do things. So essentially, we're like 3 months into specializing in LinkedIn. I've got 2 full-time employees while building a pipeline. So there's no way that I can have a salary yet, unless I was some kind of miracle worker, which unfortunately I'm not. So here, numbers just helping communicate the story, and just in one sentence, well, actually technically it's 3 sentences, but in 2 lines, really conveying a story here. So this is something that sounds ridiculous, and it's like, really? So it's drawing a lot of people in to click show more so that they then read the whole thing. And with this, it's quite a shocking hook. So it's gonna have people reading through this, but again, I've still made it easy to skim over. Like the key information I've put into bullet points so that it's easy to gain the whole insight of the story without having to read paragraphs of text. And then I've called people to action and actually said, like, how's business for you? Honestly, I'd love to hear. And what this got was a lot less comments than the previous one because it's not a lead magnet. It got a lot of reposts, which is surprising. And what I found from this was it was how honest and brutally honest that I was in the post that drew a lot of people to be compelled to engage with it and message me and such. And then what we've got in the comments is just loads of people sharing their heartfelt stories, a couple of trolls that brought me some entertainment, but a lot of people then reading through the comments, hence why this got loads more impressions than the other ones, despite less comments. Because people are seeing it, they're reading the post, then they're going to the comments and reading through it. Plus the visual helps. In the post, I talk about the red light therapy hat, and then I am wearing a red light therapy hat, and I look pretty tired. But this, scrolling through this image will be like, what on earth is going on? What is this red thing? And then you've got this hook. Admittedly, I think the hook did most of the work here. Like that is if I do say so myself, a really good hook. So now I'm gonna show you another one, and then I'm gonna go into a bit about, oh, actually, if this one's the one that flopped, I'm not gonna go into this before. I'm gonna explain, yeah, this one flopped. I'm gonna explain how these can lead to customers. So going back in reverse order. So this, huge impressions. This actually got a lot of people messaging me just to be like, thank you so much for sharing your story. Can't believe how open and honest you're willing to be on LinkedIn. The world needs more of that. And I actually had a few people that were like, you're the type of person I could do business with because you're so open and honest, you're transparent, I can trust you, and I've never even met you. So people were curious to see how we could help them with their LinkedIn. Now, there's an argument to be made. Someone told me about not being so honest, and like, if you're not making money, why are people gonna pay you to help them get customers? And I disagree with that because, as I say, the whole thing is I'm trying to build a company that runs without me. I'm never going to take a salary until, that's literally my last resort. I'm trying to live as cheap as I possibly can so that I can prioritize building businesses. I've made a lot of mistakes and hold a lot of shame for where I am in life and look at 8 years in business and think, why am I not more successful? But I'm willing to go without. And it's because I just take loads of risks, and as soon as I've got money, I just throw it into business. Like with Pink Panda, as I say, I'm prioritizing having a team and also training. Like we're on a multi-1,000-pound program for LinkedIn that I cannot afford, and that could have been a salary for me, but instead I'm gonna pay for that. But that's how it gets conversations going. And then all of these people, it's an opportunity for me to filter through a bloody lot of likes to see who would be my ideal client. And I can filter through them, drop them a message, start a conversation, just get networking with them. And instantly I've built a lot of trust because I'm willing to be honest, and that shows. Lead magnets, probably more obvious, is if someone wants to see your LinkedIn playbook, then clearly they're interested in making LinkedIn work for them. So then you just go through whoever's engaged with it. Obviously, this is through an email wall to access it. So I capture their email for them to access it. That helps because then we can email them, we can message them and learn more about what they want to achieve with LinkedIn. And like out of 1,000 people or whatever that have commented, most of them aren't my ideal client. We want some people in a specific geography, but this actually led us to be like, wow, we need to do something that could hit any geography, hence making more content like this, and then we'll have workshops and programs and such that can help people that no matter where they are, we can work with them. Whereas with this, because we are tied to a certain geography, I then just go through who is my ICP, I've got their email now, then I can start a conversation with them and see how we can help them. This one, the first one was more about experimenting and seeing what works. But again, this is a similar thing to the other one I just showed you about just being open, honest, and sharing a part of your story. This helps people connect with you, build trust in you, think of me as a good human. And same again, I can use this as a way to start conversations with people and just add to the conversation I'm having with them. And it just builds the kind of trust points that people have in me before they meet me. So that gives you an idea of how to get the conversation started. So if you want to get clients from LinkedIn, always think, how can the conversation lead to a customer? Or how can the post lead to a conversation that can lead to a customer? Now I'm going to show you some posts that have flopped to give you a good idea of where it could be going wrong. So this is another lead magnet that got 26 comments, 24 likes. Just, to be fair, it isn't bad, and it's 300 impressions, which is like, what the hell? This many people have engaged on the post with 300 impressions. I don't know what's going on LinkedIn at the moment. There's something I've noticed is you could get quite good engagement, but get next to no impressions, which is quite shocking. And when you read through this post, good strong hook, I get 150,000 plus impressions a month. It took me months to work out how. This guide shows you how. And easy to skim over to get a point of what's going to be included. Clear call to action of what to do. Yet, nothing. Given it's got 300 impressions, this much engagement, what my estimate is that LinkedIn is not interested in showing this and not pushing it out. But I've got theories on why. I think it's because it feels too repetitive. So the lead magnets I've been doing a lot of, sometimes 2-3 a week. And although this was a brand new lead magnet, it was a new document that we've just created, it looks very much the same as the others. So what my thinking is a lot of my first connections also scrolled right past it because they thought it was the same thing that they've already got, and possibly other people that have engaged with it just assumed it was the same thing, so they're not fussed about getting it because they thought it was a LinkedIn playbook. So that's the biggest reason I think this one actually flopped, is because it looks too much the same as other lead magnets I've done. It's just too repetitive. Therefore, what I'm going to do is go back to the drawing board and find a different visual for this because it just looks the same. Here's another one that flopped, and I'm pretty sure this is for the exact same reason. So, oh shit. Yeah, I go viral every week. Now I'm sharing how and giving it away to you. One thing, I think it doesn't feel believable, and secondly, there's no numbers. Numbers always helped. Whereas this, we scraped over 135,000 viral posts from LinkedIn because we wanted the answer in going viral. That would make more sense. And this lead magnet I've given away, the viral template doc, which is a different document to the last post I just went over, but yet same visual, pretty much the same GIF, just the words changed slightly. So it looks the same. But I've done this post before and it's gone viral. And this is more of the hook that I used to say we've scraped over 135,000 viral posts to work out what works, what goes viral. That drew people in more so than just saying I go viral every week. One thing you can do is just tagging big creators. So of the people that we scrape data from, we tagged them, gave them kudos. But if they don't engage, there's theories around tagging, and I can't remember who it was that said if you can tag one person, tag 20 to help with your reach. But I'm pretty sure if you tag a lot of people and those people don't engage on your content, LinkedIn will see it as basically a crap piece of content that isn't worth engaging with. So therefore they'll stop pushing it out and restrict its reach. So consider that if you're going to tag loads of people, you're going to probably want to think tactically and be like, is this person realistically likely to engage in some way or other on the piece of content, let alone even see it? When you look at some of the names, is Stephen Bartlett realistically going to see this piece of content? Probably not. Go smash it on LinkedIn.